Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne, here live on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel, all part of OTE Week on the Donny Chaingang. OTE Week bringing you two rides this week with the Donny Chaingang going, first of all, to Yorkshire, back to the homelands on Tuesday. The guys from OTE, we had Annie Simpson and, of course, OTE-sponsored rider Damien Clayton taking the top spot. Coming in first on the course around the reverse circuit in Yorkshire. Now we've harnessed a bit more OTE energy and headed out to a new route for the Chaingang. Going to change the routes around, and we like to introduce things that are different, things that people want, and tailor things to do what we want. Hopefully this route's going to do that. First time on there. That's going to be exciting. And, of course, we've got our giveaway as well. Now, OTE, of course, are based up in Leeds, sponsors, long-term sponsors and supporters of the Donny Chaingang and the members of the DCG gang. So for those of you that don't know, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club is called the DCG gang, and that is what keeps the show on the road. Quite simply, keeps all of the tech working, keeps all of the internet lines coming in and out. It makes sure that we can keep Russ on the bike. You name it, that's how we cover it. So a massive thank you if you're a member. If you're not a member, then it might be worth joining because you get insider information, like exactly where we're going. Also, you get loads of discounts as well, 30% off OTE at the moment. Get regular discounts off everything from Oakleys to Halo wheels to you name it. And all going out exclusive to the members of DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And our fantastic giveaways. Now, we've got 5 of the indoor training packages. So this basically covers everything you need to ride on the turbo from OTE. And that covers you for your pre-riding. So your pre-ride. So how to fuel up and be all ready to ride. Then to fuel up during the ride, to give you that extra little kick when the go, go, go happens. And, of course, recovery as well. So to recover and get ready for the next one. Now, I did see a message from Neil Mansell at the end of Tuesday that his Garmin was saying he needed 38 hours of rest at the end of it. Hopefully, maybe not quite as much this time around, because remember, we have got lots and lots of riders out and racing. It is super, super busy this time of year with lots of cross racing as well as track racing. So let's get into the giveaway. First of all, you can see our random number generator up over there, and the random number generator ties in to the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet that we have, that basically gives us all of our members and the odds of winning. If you're a member of the DCG gang, the guys who actually keep the show on the road, there are 90 people eligible. And that is because already 5 people not eligible, because basically they've already won. So congratulations to Tim, Richard, Trevor, Greg and John, who won on Tuesday. Time for us to hit the numbers. Number 90 is Xander, number 1 is 80, and everybody in between. So you can work out roughly where you are. If you do want to see a copy of this, then give us a shout, and we'll check that you're not just trying to troll our members. We'd be amazed how many people spam bots we stop on the way through with our registration. So first of the draws, number 83. So that is going to be Stefano Borelli. Stefano, you have won one of our fantastic packages. So well done to Stefano. Let's hit that number and start it rolling again. So Stefano with the first of the indoor packages from OTE. Man who did no stranger on fueling up. Usually the slightly more indulgent if you're going to Donna's best man in the business. Next up, number 21, Mr. Tattershaw Waller. I think he's actually previously won one of the prizes before. In fact, most people have along the way. So 21, Darren Tattershaw Waller. Well done, mate. You got an OTE win as well. Let's turn the next numbers rolling. So next up, we are going to go across. This is the third of 5 packages going out today. So first of all, Stefano Borelli. Second up was Darren Tattershaw Waller. And next up is going to be number 55. That is a certain Mr. Mark Chamberlain. Mark, one of the people who really does help us with lots of things, DCG and the website as well, donnychaingang.co.uk. So make sure you go on there and have a quick check out of that. So thank you very much, Mark. And thank you very much for being a member of the DCG gang and supported us. So just our way of saying thank you. 3 out of 5 done, which means our next one is going to go to this young lady's becoming a prolific winner on the Chaingang. This is clearly important for later in life, because that is Ruby Isaac. Ruby, 2 prizes in 2 prize draw, winner in our gritty draw, and a winner in our OTE draw. So clearly on a rich vein of form, which leaves us one more to go, which is going to be, let's see, one more to go. Last one, last chance, guys. Number 28, Gareth Licence. Gareth, well done, mate. You are our 10th winner, so well done to Gareth Licence. And congratulations to everybody who has won. So our winners today on the giveaway, last number 20 was Gareth, and so our winners today heading out is the 5 people today on top. So Stefano Borelli with Daryl Tashawala, Mark Chamberlain, Ruby Isaac, along with Gareth Licence to add to our previous 5. So well done, guys. Massive thank you to OTE. We are now going to head across to try and get hold of the one and only Bear. Now, I'm hoping he's going to be on the end of the line. We'll see if we can get a Bear on the end of a phone line rather than caged, because we like him out and riding. Let's see how he's going. Hopefully, there will be an answer very shortly indeed. We will see. So, let's see if we've got Russ. Hi, Russ. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Just typing away on the old companion app. It's nice to have it working for once.
Definitely, definitely, and great to see more of our winners in there. The random number generator, it's great fun, I must admit, hitting the button and wondering where it's going to stop, and it is absolutely totally random, but great to see some really worthy winners. And then Ruby Isaac, she's on some serious form. She needs to get a lottery ticket, that young lady, if she was old enough.
Yeah, I know, yeah, but it's all good. She won something the other week, and I think did Stefano win something as well? So
to be honest,
I think fine.
Yeah, I think over the course of the giveaways that we've done, I think pretty much everybody's got to win. And don't forget, because we've got a big giveaway in December. We've got the 12 DCGs of December coming up as well, so that's going to be busy, which is going to be fun. So that is all done and dusted. No T, of course, putting in fantastic support. And we've got a certain Mr. Damien Clayton back with us, OTE fueled rider, due in again this time around. So we'll see if he's can do the business on what is essentially a relatively flat start, but with a few bumps, essentially three climbs in this.
Yeah, he was literally on fire the other night, wasn't he? You know, chirping on OTE every other word, which was great, you know. Then he lit it up on the final climb. I think he's been out on the mountain bike today, so hopefully he might have a bit of dead legs, but I don't think it'll slow him down. You know, he's a great guy, as we said. He's got some serious power, and he knows the game. So maybe he won't know this circuit though. So we might catch him off guard. Let's see. Let's all gang up on him, eh?
We'll see. Hopefully so. It might need that. So it's all pile on the Bear initially, and all pile on Mr. Clayton as we move through. With just over 2.5 minutes, we better let you go dive back into the gang. New routes, so all new ground for you to decide where that go is going to go. Really interested to see where you're going to call it. I know I've been doing the stats on this route and having a little look through. The profile is very different to last week's. Anyone who watched the footage on Tuesday will have seen it is a proper sawtooth for Tuesday. Today's a lot better. It's more my kind of role. It has to be said.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think we're saying that the finish line is about 36.5 K-ish, you know, and then a couple of K roll down. So, you know, let's see where the go is. You know, we know the rules. You've got to be around yellow. You know, I tend to like a good 40-minute sort of ramp before we have a go. So yeah, let's see. You know, might go early, might go late. Let's see.
Yeah, we've got some real
see
good
if we're all well behaved.
Yeah, we've got some real good trigger points, haven't we? We've got the aqueduct, first aqueduct climb to Warm People's Legs, where I can't imagine we're going to take 40 minutes to get there. But then we drop down the gorge through those roller coasters, then we do the climb up the Von top, but turn left as soon as we get to the top of the Petit aqueduct. So real big, nasty climb there. And then we've got that trigger just coming in before Pavé Sprint, which could be a trigger for some more attacks, which are going to be the aqueduct in the opposite direction. So what we'll do, we're going to let Russ go back to keep the troops briefed whilst we head across to the map. So cheers, Russ. We'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers, mate, and yeah, have a good one, and thanks for the OTE for supporting, and congratulations to the winners, and have a good ride.
Definitely. So thank you very much to Russ. Let's dive straight into the map. So we are heading to the Petit Boucle, which is a reference to the big lap. This is the little lap of France, because, of course, Swift don't do the entirety of France. That would be madness. However, this is normally a 62k loop. We don't do 62k on the Chaingangs, not if we can help it. Way too long. So we're doing the 1k lead-in plus 35.3 part lap, which will finish us at the Pavé Sprint Arch. Essentially, around this figure of 8, we go around the top circuit in a clockwise direction. We go around the bottom circuit in an anti-clockwise direction and go back onto the alternative circuit. And that does mean that it is going to make things very interesting for our riders as they head out, because they need to make sure that they know exactly where they're heading and where that finish line is, which is at 36.3. If they do get dropped from the main group, then AD Dench's our Red Beacon, the beers and bikes rider, the man from Team Sheffield, and a regular up at the front, now doing the business at the back. So let's show you this profile, because this is the whole point of using this course. Essentially, we've got 12.5 kilometres of flat as we head out from the start, which means it is pancake flat. We then go over the first of the little bumps at 12.5k. That is the Petit Aqueduct climb. Drop down, come through the sprint. That's the flat section between 15k and 18k. We then drop into the gorge. You can see those little ripples of between 20 and 24 kilometres. At 24 kilometres, we go on to the main climb of the day, and that ramps up to the top of the Petit KOM. Essentially a very similar profile, but in reverse to the Petit KOM. No prizes, though, once you get up on to the top. And then, once we drop down off there, we run back across to the Petit Aqueduct over there, and it's a really fast run. So from 30k to 32.5k, it is relatively flat. We then have 2.5k of the aqueduct climb and descent out of it before that last run into the finish, which is about 1.5 kilometres. So perfect for an Ekimos style attack off the front. Let's see who's going to take that away. Our riders already out on the course here on the Donny Chaingang, just starting to get themselves into gear and just heading down into the start here. So you can just see coming around the turn, and this is the run out. Now we go out on this loop. We're never going to come back through this point again. It's not a series of laps. So the 0k just on here, and you can just see well and truly strung out. That yellow beacon not even in sight at the moment as the group gets stretched out up on the front. So already very quick out on the course there. You can see that leading group at the moment. There's quite a gap from them back to yellow. Just going to do a time check. We use a number of devices. You can see multiple screens on the go. There's two there, one there, as well as one down there, and one over here, and one over there. So plus the ones over the back that we're trying to avoid using, because it means we've got to turn around. Now, at the moment, there's about 9 seconds from our riders at the back to the riders at the front. And you can just see at the moment, Russ not even at the very back here. Let's take a little bit of a look up on the helicopter shot again. Now, if we drop some stats in for Russ here, we can show you Russ at the moment. Heart rate of 80 beats per minute, right alongside the red beacon, just rolling out. Map at the top shows a pretty strung out line as everybody's just starting to get themselves together. And the gang at 80, so Russ currently 100 revs per minute, 107 watts. Just taking a little bit of a look, 1.2k in, and we are just heading out on the section, so you can just see the gorge behind us where we'll come down and turn left. So heading out at the moment, it's all about trying to pull the group together and get the gang into one blob very, very fast. It's all about blobby, blobby, blobby. Chris Bull, great post on the Facebook page. So at the moment, from the back to the front of the Chaingang, 23 seconds, guys. If you're watching live, guys at the front, you're going to need to pull that back together again. Ease off those pedals a little bit. Nobody's left behind. So it's all about making sure everybody gets themselves in to gear. Just in Lisa Jane late, jumping onto the back of the group. You can just see taking a quick look. So Lisa making the contact there with the back of the pack. So remember, all pile on yellow is the word of the day. Russ just keeping a check on everybody. So let's head into the ride live here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. A Donny Chaingang on OTE week, ride number 2. So the helicopter just up overhead above the riders, and you can just see the gang at the moment just rolling along. A couple of people just diving in, and I think Darrell Tatchawalla, one of our late arrivals, one of the riders who's got a win tonight already in his legs, because the OTE prize going out to Darrell Tatchawalla already. So going very nicely, and just diving in. Good to have Pete Trouble back in with us. He's going to be, no doubt, diving in to the group. Sean Ferrin in there. And the gang at the front just starting to come slightly back together again. Doesn't take much on the front to string the group out. The front group, though, now currently at 1.0, 1 2s, 1 3s, 1 4s. So it shouldn't be long before they all start blobbing back together again, now that we've headed out from the end. Just riding in with Sean Ferrin in here, yep. Billy Nomates is in here, Chris Ball in, Mantis in the gang. Oh, good to see Tom Elliott in, Kieran Brown. Kieran Brown was on form on Tuesday night. He was almost had it as he went up over the top. Looks like Welsh at the moment just charging onto that red beacon. The guys need to push on, though, here. Need to get themselves up. If you're in that group at the back, Mr. Richardson, Lisa, 80, guys, squeeze onto the back of that group. Let's get those that gang together. I know all 3 of those riders at the back more than capable of squeezing into squeezing the pace and just forming that group nicely. So just taking a look here, Jeff Saysel just squeezing his way on as well. So it's all about that little bit of a push up to get that group compacto. Gruppo compacto is what we're looking for. Now, Damien Clayton right on the side of our beacon there. Riding well at the moment. And Clayton in that Canyon, the DHB Sunweb squad colours, doing a good job already of squeezing his way around by that round by our beacon. So just going to take a little bit of a check where he is. So looks like the team riding well, and Damien, of course, taking that win on the climb. Now the question is, can he repeat that win as he heads out and on to the roads of France? Here looks like the group pretty much all together, and that's what we want to see. The gang coming a little bit closer, a little bit tighter together. Remember, you can only see 100 riders at a time, so should just about get everybody in. I think Russ just slightly distracted at the minute, because just hanging off the back of the red and yellow, because just exchanging roles just briefly at the moment. So if you're at the back, don't wait to get in the pack. Stay around the main group. Just seeing a few issues just at the back here. I think for Russ, not like Russ to be sat at 1.5 watts per kilo. So all of a sudden, that group at the back just waking up. So it looks like the draft starting to pull people along quite nicely here. Good to have the team in here riding a well down top of Sherwood Pines in the group at the moment, and if we get our gang in here, we just see a little bit of a shuffle in there. Clearly issues for the yellow beacon at the back of the group there. Now starting to roll his way back up, and the red beacon heading back into the back. Early stage of the Chaingang, we always aim to have a bit of a course that's going to give our riders a chance to roll themselves back around. So Eddie rolling his way back into the back just to make sure that everybody can get squeezed into the right positions on the way through. So the gang working well now, just squeezing the way over the bridge at the moment, and you can just see the Von Top in the distance now. We don't go up the Von Top, we do actually start up the Von Top road today. So nice steady start to the Chaingang. Just keeping a check on the numbers at the moment. The group at the front sitting around about 2 to 2.5. Nobody going crazy mad to keep the group ticking along. Looks like the red beacon just sat nicely in at the back. 80 Dents just rolling and holding the back of the group together. Nice big solid group in that pack. You can just see the group all tucked in nicely together. Good to have Claire Jessup back in the group with us. Claire back in. Looks like Paul Smith. Ruby Isaacs is in the group. So Ruby, of course, one of our winners in the OTE draw. So another win for Ruby. I don't win as much as Ruby does. I tell you, she's absolutely flying, that young lady, doing a great job. So another rider who you don't want to mess about with, Sonia Inslee, right in the pack here. Sonia, fearsome sprint class rider. Just tucked in here in the black, right in the middle of the pack, just about make it out. Sonia just diving around and just making sure she stays in with the group. I think we've got Maurizio Mori in here, so good to have Maurizio back in the Chaingang. Maurizio, of course, was the main man from Nonas in the group. Looks like we've got Joe Munden in here. Joe, regular on the women's only on Wednesdays, and very fast rider, could well be one of our fastest female riders today. More than capable of sticking it to pretty much everybody. Looks like Miss Cookie in the pack as well, so a real group mix of riders. Just take a hunt around for Miss Cookie. Going to be in the blue. Yep, there we go. And Avatar looking scarily realistic. Same haircut and everything. That's good to see with our riders. So I think prices for that also. Shelley Charles looks very much like his as well. Maybe it's just if you're lucky, if you manage to get that. So Shelley just in the group here, just tucked in. And of course the Continental, because Cameron Tyres based over in Aberystwyth, the home of Shelley Charles. And Shelley riding along nice and strongly in this pack. Looks like Neil from the Crosscasters made it. See how hard Neil's going to go. Remember, we've got lots of cyclo-cross regional championships this weekend. And the week before, the World Championships. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out and whether that affects people in terms of what they're up to. Another of our winners today, Stefano Borelli, in the gang. So good to have Stefano back in. That's the man in the yellow, pink and blue. But all of this group are riding well as we make our way out and around the edge of France here, and nicely keeping the pace wound up. Just seeing a couple of riders just diving into the back of the pack. So a couple of late joiners also coming in to the gang. Good to have Dale Williams is back in now. Dale's got a good sprint on him, we know he has. And he was in London last week for Greater London Flat. Dale was the man who took out the sprint and had the fastest sprint on the intermediates. However, he got rolled well and truly by Kieran Smith as they came in and through the gang, as they made their way in through the finish in the end of the ride. So Dale not able to keep the take the win at the end, just got rolled on the way in. Great sprinting though between him and Kieran. Not sure whether it'll be the same again this time around. So the group all together, the group are called Pacto, riding along quite comfortably. Really interesting with the new draft effect. Riders on the front of the group at the moment are all rolling around about the 2 to 2.8 watts per kilo. Riders at the back of the group, in the middle of the group at the moment, all riding somewhere between about 1.4 and 1.7 watts per kilo, and that is the effect of the draft out there. So it really is changing the effect, and the group just holding a nice pace at the moment, and looks like been keeping that pace nice and steady, and certainly rolling along well. So the group are rolling together nicely, all holding on in there. Just see the helicopter jumping up over the top of the struck down into that group as we make our way along the side of the river. You can just see Eddie just about holding the back of that group as it comes up here. The side of the river, one of the fun places to ride, very accurate when you're heading in and through. So taking that right hand turn up over the bridge and across the river, very realistic for actually going out and riding in France. Just in with Damien Clayton at the moment. We'll see Harry Fuller is in the gang. David Cass back in as well. Looks like Dale Williams sat nicely in the bunch. Carl Johnson in here. I think Rich Orrell tucked in. Ian Taylor, the man from 1080 in the group, riding strongly again, and tucked in very snug indeed on that bike. Probably a good choice for today, the Tron bike, if you have it available, although it is a bit of everything on here. So young Tom Lindley in the pack, Altaf Hussein, Rossinia. Let's take a little bit of a look at who else is in here. Looks like Ticker's in, Bobby Mason in the gang. Anthony Spencer back in. Anthony did a good ride again. We have David Hopkinson back in the group. Dave Finch in there. Looks like some Tiff Fletcher in there. Just have a bit of a check. Yeah, Jim Flynn in the group. So Wilson in as well. Welsh, Big Tez back in the pack. Ozk rolling in and round at the moment. The gang riding well together here. Mike Killingsworth in the group, pretty much all together as it rolls up. It's getting, you've got to remember this is a nice, good rollout, and at the moment it is looking good as we make our way up here. So the pace holding the gang really is starting to build its momentum up at the moment. Which is what we want to see. Remember that we get to see the riders in action, heading out up the climb here. This slight drag out kicks in. It's 1 or 2% on occasion, mostly flat though, rolling the way up into the village. Now the pavé sprint we're going to go through in the opposite direction very shortly. That will take us out towards the riders. You can just see with Von Top in the distance, just going out past the boulders just to the right as you head out and away from the river. The sunflowers fields coming in to view. Short indicator as we come up here that we're going to be heading in towards the village. You just see the church in the distance just opening up the big maison on the hill as we roll our way up alongside those poppy fields. And at the moment the riders riding pretty comfortably along that group are working well together, and nice pack today as they come up and through. Remember, if you see riders drop off the back of the group or the front of the group, it means that they're not the nearest 100 riders to the rider we're following in that group. Rider we're following sat in the middle of the group at the moment is Ian Taylor from 1080, currently 155 25 watts for in from 1080. The group holding pace quite nicely at the moment, and front of the group holding at 2.5 watts per kilo. Middle of the group's about 2. Back of the group generally holding at the moment at about 1.9 to 2 dead. So just good pace at the moment for our riders to get warmed up as we start to leave those sunflower fields behind and head down through the pavé sprint. Pavé sprint, this is the reverse of the finish next time round. So they're going rolling in through and coming through town there, just nicely rolling the way in through. Remember, this is the reverse of the sprint that we'll be doing. So the sprint line they've just gone under is the return sprint line where they will come through to finish next time round here on OTE week. So when we come in the opposite direction, they'll be heading the way through. It's 36.3. Going to be a quick one tonight, I think, but it's after Tuesday's really intensive workout that absolutely mullered everybody. Nice to balance the week up with a slightly easier, faster ride with a good group to roll it together. The crowd's watching this gang starting to make the way out, now heading in towards the aqueduct climb. And if we drop some stats down into the group here, you can just see we're just heading in towards the aqueduct climb. The profile at the top basically shows it as flat. If we take in the 3D, you'll soon be able to, in the zoomed out map, you'll soon be able to pick up the distance, the archway. You just see it ticking away to the left hand side, and this is all about getting into the twists and turns. We get onto that little bit of a climb, just going to stretch a few legs at the back of the pack if anybody's struggling. Just like Nick Sweeting jumping on the back of the group there, the 3RT man, just having to push to get into the back of that group. The group rolling itself round together very comfortably at the moment, just keeping those numbers just right. And the pack holding all together. So the gang on the way up through the first of these turns that take you in. You can just see the grading kicking up to 3 or 4% there. Next into this right hand twist and turn, you can just see next left turn as this group makes its way in. The group holding nicely together. Looks like Mason tucked in here today. Oddly enough, we didn't see him on Tuesday when it was hilly. Wonder why. Looks like Ollie Saxton just in. Looks like Sweeting Tickers just pushing up with AD Dench at the moment at the back of the pack. Just taking a little look behind AD here. And that AD holding this group together as they come up in towards these twists and turns. And the group, remember, going the opposite way round now to the finish. Finish will be going in the opposite direction. So the group getting having a squeeze just to pull themselves up in towards the top of the Aqueduct KOM. This is for the first time, and we'll be following this round and dropping down the gorge, pretty much like we would do with RGV, which is one of our very popular rides that we use on the Donny Chaingang as we come up towards the Aqueduct. Our riders. Just one big group coming up and through. The Von top in the distance, the Lorraine climb, of course, used during Gritty Week, not that long ago, only a couple of weeks ago. At a hard day for everybody this Tuesday in Yorkshire with OTE week, and the riders now making the way in across the gorge, going back and through. When we come back, we'll be headed in the opposite direction through here, essentially a figure of 8 course without finishing off the second of the loops on the way back. So go out clockwise, we drop down the bottom of the gorge, come around and back in and through. Remember, It is 36.3k. All the members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, getting a heads up insight into the route, profiles, etc., to show exactly what they've got coming up. So Pave Sprint, 36.3k. Everybody's keeping on the plan, which is what we want to do. AD just keeping that group held together. As looks like we've got another dropout here for Russ. So Russ is just getting a bit of a dropout. He's more than capable of getting himself back into that group. Looks like Boo just sitting at the back. I'm loving all the pace now. It's big hill, little hill, 36.2. Loving it. This is what we like to see. Just watching the message board tick along. Always very entertaining. Let's just pull the stats back into the ride at the moment. Now, that group is not strung out by any stretch of the imagination. Let's take a little bit of a run up through the group. So, just run up towards the front. You can just see in this pack, riders at the moment just rolling around that 2 watts per kilo here, sitting on the gang. So you can just see the red beacon, who's been rolling. Red's been rolling at sub 2, 1.5 watts per kilo. Now we're sat at the centre of this group as the riders just gone back to just help Russ back on. They're just watching Andy Hawes, I think, just getting caught out there by the yo-yoing at the back there by the yellow beacon. The riders who went back to help the beacon just getting caught out by that, now having to push on. So Andy Hawes having to push to get back into that group, that yo-yoing, just doing a bit of damage at the back of the group here. Just see the gang getting bounced about by that pace. You can see Welsh at the back here now, having to push to squeeze into the back of the group here. You can see the numbers now, having to do about 3 to 4 watts per kilo just to squeeze onto the back due to the yo-yoing on the front. So it looks like Lisa Jane Late and Mr. Cookie just distanced from that group. Just looking to see where the red beacon is at the moment. There's been a bit of a drop, which has spat riders out the back of the group. And you can just see at the moment the gang have the bus has gone up the road. So it looks like Cookie and Lisa Jane Lake just going to be forming a group together here. And the split with the yo-yoing, basically dropping riders out the back, being spat out from the 100 rider limit and out of sight of the riders in front. So I think Eddie's heading back for the bus. You can see just how quickly the group has split here. The gap now at 16 seconds. Yeah, 80 can't see them because of the 100 rider limit. This is the issue. So 80 at the moment can't actually see our two riders. They currently sit 16 seconds behind 80. As 80 just dropping back to go try and find them. So it's like Eddie Dench now, just about 8 seconds in front. You can just see the gang coming back. Looks like Koos looks doing the same there. So Koos looks at the start on 80, Lisa and Miss Cookie coming. And he should soon get to the point where they are nearer to them. And this is the gang. So it looks like Eddie's got them in the rear view mirror now. That's what we want to see. Let's use Eddie Dench's rear view mirror. Key number 6. There we go. And lo and behold, in they come. So the riders at the moment are working their way in and around the top of the windmill. So Lisa Jane, Late Cookie, along with Koos and AD on the front. The bus has formed, the Gruppetto, the red bus, 80s bus, serving drinks and snacks on the way around as always. Stella, of course, given the bikes and beers, and going to be rolling around about 2.5 watts per kilo. Looks like Tasha Waller just having a little bit of a drop out there on his way through. Just at the back of the main group, looks like Chris Canham and Tickhill just starting to be distanced here. So the gang here looking like they've spotted another couple of riders out the back of that front group as the pace picks up. Remember, as we drop down the gorge, we're going to be taking a left. So it looks like 80, as you can see when we drop back to him, magically everybody appears around because of that 100 rider limit. So let's see how the gang go now. Chris Canham just trying to get himself back into the bunch. Looks like Ticker's going to be heading for the bus. Not too far behind you, Mark. Russ just sat on the back of the main pack at the moment with Ball. So Taylor at the moment just having to squeeze on a little bit at the moment. His pace jumping back up to 3 watts per kilo on the back of this group to stay in here. Taylor really having to nail those watts per kilo. That gap has opened up here, so Ruth Taylor just having to push, trying to get back in. Claire Jessup and Gibbons behind the group at the front, squeezing on a little bit here because they're at 2.5 to 3 in the middle of the bunch at the moment, and that is showing you. And you've got riders like Tracy seeing them push out 4 or 5 watts per kilo to stay in with the pack. It's all about staying in the draft of the group. Stay with the group, stay in that big bunch, you're safe. Wait drop to the back, you can really soon be in big trouble. And as you can see now, Jessup just in front of Taylor. Taylor trying to squeeze onto the back of these three riders, still really pushing on down the bottom. This draft effect with the new draft really takes its toll now. The good thing is that as you go up onto the climb, the gap, the distance squeezes down. As you go up over the top, unfortunately it opens back up again. You see these gradients as just riding in with Taylor and Jessup at the minute. Just being distanced and trying to keep back into the wheels of Taylor. So you can just see Claire Jessup. We've got Ruth Taylor just in front. Gibbons just being pushed down. Shelley Childs just on the back of that group. And again, Shelley just being spat out of the back. So it looks like 5 riders in with Adi Dench. So it looks like the bus forming well at the back. Nicely tucked in together. And then we're just going to take a little bit of a run up the road, I think, to... Showed prize rider. This is Kieran Brown just having dropouts. Like Shelley Charles just dropped off the back of that group. Taylor distance from the group. Ruby now starting to feel the pressure at the back of that group as the pace starts to pick up coming over these roller coasters. Makes life very hard indeed. So Ruby, if in doubt, grab a group quick. Now Williams, Dale Williams in danger here. He's one of the fast riders. This section of the roller coaster section really hard. It's going to make life difficult for these riders. If you miss a beat, it's all going to go a little bit pear-shaped on this drop down here. So the bus forming, picking up groups on the way, which is the aim, as the leaders now are rolling down into this descent. So let's take a little run through the numbers just off the back. So Kieran distance, Ruth Taylor distance, Jim distance, Gibbons distance, Jessup distance, and Canham distance. So this is a nice working group. If they get together with Ruby Isaacs, the gang need to work well together. So this group nicely holding together here. Ruby, I think, heading the bunch here. This is our red beacon. This is the sweeper bus at the back. This is the sweeper bus of 5. Then we've got Shelley Charles, Ruby Isaac, Jim Flynn, Gibbons, Jessup, Canham, Gibbons. Then looks like Kieran having to put in a monster effort, 7 watts per kilo, just to get on the back of this group, chasing hard behind. Kieran has got to really push on as he comes through here. So really putting the squeeze on now, trying to get himself back into that pack. Working really hard at the moment. You can just see great ride by him as he squeezes on, just coming up on Steve G as they drop down. The leaders coming in towards the bottom turns here. You can just see that gradient flicking up and down as the riders come in and through. And it looks like Kieran just squeezing his way onto the back. So the bigger, slightly longer leg, which comes about 4 turns before it's basically the third to last left-hand turn, is this slightly longer leg. As you drop around this descent and start dropping down, the squeeze on at the front, the riders at the back having to push on. Looks like McKenna and Woodbridge in danger of being distanced here. Ted feeling the pressure as well as it goes up and over. Andy Verrill now starting to be distanced, so just starting to drop down, coming up to one more left-hand turn to go, and you can just see the gang working well at the moment, but Kieran at the back again. They're going to be in danger here because as we come down, we're going to take that left-hand turn. When we go down that left turn, we are going to be taking the switch across and going left at the T-junction at the very bottom rather than right. That is going to make a difference here because normally we go right and do another loop. So Ted not able to just stay in that pack, and not surprised that he's rapid, and those roller coasters really were going to break up. In the original description put out on the route, it did say this is where you were going to find it was going to be difficult on that descent. Riders were going to start to feel the pressure of the roller coasters. We're 24k, we're 40 minutes in as we hit the bottom of the climb. So timing's working out well. Prediction was we'd hit the, and we hit the go as well. We're on go as we come back past the pens. Oh, I'll take that one. That's what we want to see. The go has gone And look at this, there's a massive pack coming in towards the climb all together. You can just see the riders starting to get strung out at the back. We've gone just past the pens. We're now up onto the climb. And this is really, really harsh. Now, Ozake winding it up on the front. That group is strung in a long line. The bunch still giving some assistance on the way through. But in front of the riders, you can see what it's going to do. It's going to start climbing. It's going to rear up in front of the riders, and that's what's happening. And now it goes uphill. Now things start to get spicy, because up on the front goes Clayton. Woolley has gone right on his back wheel here, though. The man from the Bike Strong KTM squad, he's been quiet all the way through. Look at the red numbers behind us. Everybody gets in trouble. Everybody knows this is where the pressures come on. But remember that we are still 11k from the finish. 11k, just over 6.5 miles to the finish. Clayton's having to put out some big numbers. So is Varty here. Now it eases off after that first kicker up that climb. And you can just see as they come over the top, that slight ease is going to make things interesting for the riders. Meanwhile, looks like Woolley has got an aero in there. He has, so he's just continuing to kick onwards. And it's risky using it up here. Remember, as they come up the climb, they're going to take a left-hand turn down as Clayton moves across this gap like an absolute rocket here. So Clayton goes through. Now Clayton with the power up, using it on the flatter section to get some speed up. He knows if he goes clear with Woolley, they are going to be very difficult to catch indeed. Kieran Brown now starting to push the front of this group. You can see them queuing up behind at the moment, but the pace is really starting to stretch the riders out. This is a big group here. We've got Mayland in here, Birmingham in here, Cass in here, Elliott in here, Sayso just about hanging on the wheels here. Come on, Jeff. Looks like Osman just trying to squeeze on Potter. Ozak's now gone. Altaf, Cook's gone. Greenfield's gone. Richardson, Saxton, Woodall run it. Braley starting to get distance here in Bale, Ball, Bass and Oral have gone. Tomlinson and Tukey, Mantis, they're forming a group. You can just see that yellow beacon. Remember, the yellow beacon isn't the very front of the ride at the moment. Dr. D at the moment sat in the back here with Goddard. Wimble in here, Sweeting's in here. That left turn hit, and all of a sudden that go goes. We came back in and through. Look at the damage that's been done. If you take a look on the map, if we zoom out, it is dot to dot up the hillside now. As we've hit the big climb here, Big Tez, Scott and Killingsworth, Crease, Gail Phillips in here, real class riders in here, Andy Hawes in here, Stefano Borelli in the group, Sonia's just tucked in here. Looks like Charles is in here now. Where is our Red Beacon group? Our Red Beacon group just hitting the steeper section of that climb at the moment. So looks like this is the bus just hitting the climb on the way up here. Ruby Isaacs currently stood about 8 seconds up in front. So this is the Gruppetto, the red bus, ticking its way along nicely here, and just up onto the climb. Ruby Isaacs just got about 8 seconds then, chasing Flynn here. This is where Isaacs can make ground, but if you take a look through this group, it really is absolutely flat out all the way up this course, just working our way up towards the very top here, as we see Clayton has gone clear now. And remember, once we get up to the turning, where the left turn is, you can just see the zigzags coming down the other side. We've got the descent. We've got flatlands for 2.5k. We've got the aqueduct climb. We've got another K to get in to the finish, and that is all going to benefit a group. So from the top of the climb, where this left-hand turn is, the group has the advantage. What gap can Clayton forge here? He's 11 seconds on Woolley from the Bike Strong squad. He's currently got 21 seconds on Kieran Brown, who has a big pack behind. They can't let that gap get too big to the riders in front. If that gap grows at more than 30 seconds, I think it's going to be impossible to bridge back, even with the pace of the pack. But this is a real serious firepower in here, with Malin, Birmingham, Russ is in here. We've got a Bear in here, Tom Elliott in here, Dale Williams in here as well. Genther's in this group. It's like Saysel tucked in here, Potter in the group, Smith a distance now by this pack. That chasing pack should be able to close down one or two riders on their own. Woolley is definitely in danger up the road here, because Woolley currently has Clayton in front. So Clayton is going to take this turning. So Clayton takes that left-hand turn around the top behind him. You can just see chasing. It is going to be Wooly. Wooly's got 10 seconds on the Lindley, Varty, Booth, Genther group behind. That pack behind playing it cagey as into the descent goes Clayton at 26 seconds now. This group has to work together behind. The group coming into that pack. They're going to take this left-hand turn. Here they come. So up over the top of the biggest climb, they take that left-hand turn and start dropping down. If this group works together, they've got the pace, they've got the firepower, they've got the terrain that is going to give them the benefit on this descent, but they have to work together. If you're in a group, it's going to make all of the difference, and now you're going to see the pace really start to wind up down this descent here. Just in with Kieran Brown at the moment as the riders start to take this descent. And you can see the Fawn top in the background. We've dropped off the flank at the moment. This group has to start pushing really, really hard indeed, because our race leader, our ride leader, is right down onto a few descents. You can just see currently a couple of turns below. You just see him flick across on the map. He's 2 full turns below on the turning, and this group now need to wind it up. They've got to work together. If they don't work, if they just sit and look at each other, they are going to be handing this to Wooly, who's on the descent. You see that yellow beacon is behind. You can see Clayton has got a big gap here. So Clayton with the gap here. He's got a bit of distance and now going back towards Wooly. So Wooly currently just behind him. Then it's Genther and the gang on the way down here. This group have to work. They've got 2.5k at the bottom. Then the climb over the aqueduct. Then another k to go. They're absolutely flying down here, just riding in with Craig Genther. As they drop down this descent, this is fast on the way down here, but they've got to pick this pace up. They can't sit in, they can't rest. Behind Potts distance, Richards has got a good group here. This is another little pack forming, and if this group comes together and they start working, they can start closing them down. Looks like Hussein in no man's land behind another big pack chasing, but they've got to get right up to this. This is the main chase group behind Wooly. What's that gap come down to? It's down at 11 seconds, 10 seconds now as they come down. They can see him in front now. They are really starting to push on. If we take a jump up to Wooly, Wooly can see him coming. He must know that his days are numbered here. That pack is coming. They're going to get one. Are they going to be able to get both? Clayton already having taken the turn off the junction. So they're going to get Wooly on the way through here. They're going to close him down. The man they want, though, is Clayton. Can this big pack close Clayton down? Clayton is kicking again. You just watch his numbers. He's up at 6 watts per kilo. The group needs to ride at 5. If he's doing 6, that's about the percentage advantage as Wooly now gets swept up by this group. And he's going to jump in here. So they've pulled back one at the front. Can they pull back the one man who has managed to stay clear? Damien Clayton. Remember, he rode clear, and at the moment looks like Wooly just having to get his pace just right as he comes into this group. So this is where they've got to work. If they work, look at the gap. The gap is down. It's down at 30 seconds here. He's got to give it some serious stick to stay clear. The yellow beacon is behind here. This is where the beacon is coming. They've got a gap of 30 seconds. They need to work together. If they don't work together, look at the watts he's kicking out. 6 watts per kilo here. Behind the yellow beacon will come after him, but he's got to get some assistance. You can see that yellow beacon in the distance. Clayton, the OTE fueled man, has got to get over the aqueduct KOM. He's got to get through to the Pave sprint at 36.3. So he's got less than 5k to do. But that group is not quite, it's just about coming into sight. 27 seconds now. 26 seconds is the gap to Clayton. They are got to do the turns. If they don't do the turns, if they're just a passenger in this group, they're not going to pull him back. They'll all be racing for first loser, not for the fastest rider in the bunch as they come in and through. They've got to get that gap down. Riders all the way around the climb. Remember, after that left-hand turn, it's a drop all the way back down the hillside. 24 seconds. It's coming down. They've got it now down to 24 seconds. You can see the beacon behind coming. Malin doing a huge turn on the front here. 7 watts per kilo, 8 watts per kilo. You've got to do the digs. You've got to pull the group. It's got to work together. If it doesn't work together, they're not going to get it. 23 seconds. Now 32.3. Remember, they've got to close that gap out. They've got to bring that gap down. Russ is doing a monstrous turn on the front, and it looks like they're being gapped here. They've got the rest of the group has got to work. They've got to work together. Otherwise, they're not going to pull him back. It is all about riding as a pack. It is a huge group. They've got to push on. The groups behind are looking really good. You can just see 80 Dench tucked in there, going well with that Red Beacon group. At the other end, we've got Clayton now at 22 seconds. You can see that little dot on the map up in front. If we take the map out, you can see he's just on his way through town at the moment. So Clayton is who's just coming out of town at the moment. The yellow beacon rolling behind now at 21 seconds. What's he got left in the tank? Here we go. This is that chasing group there about to come out of town. They've got him at 21 seconds. Now he's up to 22. Too much hesitation. This group are across the road again. They can't afford to relax. This is when we designed this course. This is what I was looking to see. Wanted to see this group have to chase to come back after a sole leader to bring it back together again, to provide a little kick-off point as they go over the aqueduct. But they've got to work. And we've got Clayton on the gang tonight. He put in such a performance on Tuesday. Is he going to be able to drag this clear? Is he going to be able to take it out to the finish? It is all about that pace that the group behind can maintain. And it looks to me like Clayton now at 18 seconds, 17 seconds. They're coming behind him. You can see that yellow beacon. They're coming. He's at 16, 17 seconds. It's hovering now. As he starts to make his way up that climb, you can just see the group behind now at 17, 86. They've got awful quiet behind. There's no messages in that group behind. No one can talk and type at this kind of pace. The group behind are just about holding him at the moment. Now Genther goes on the front. Big numbers from Genther. Big numbers coming through. But if they roll at 4.5, 5 watts per kilo, this is the climb. He's going to hit the drag very shortly. So Clayton now on to the drag. This is the climb up to the top of the aqueduct. So Clayton comes in and through, and this is where he's got to hold the pressure on. Behind him, they've rolled off. They could have rolled over here. They've not got enough power coming out. They're sat at between 2.5 and 4.5 on the front. They ain't going to pull Clayton back. They're going to be fighting for a second. You've got K as you drop off the other side once you got down away from the bottom of the KOM. But this man, Damien Clayton, the son of Webb, the rider from the Canyon DHB Sunweb squad, doing a great job. The Blows home rider pushes on over the top here. 19 seconds to the group behind. Now, what can they hold as they come up over the top? He is going to go clear. They're on the bridge. You can see them behind. This is possibly, potentially, the only time they're going to actually see him. He's take that left-hand turn. Through they go here over the top. 19 seconds is the gap. He's literally one corner in front of these riders. If we take a little bit of a look back, you can just see the beacons about to come around that left-hand turn. This is going to come down to who wants it most. Is it going to be Clayton who wants it? Is it going to be the group behind? Are they content to fight for second place here? They've got to squeeze, and they've got to squeeze hard now. Clayton working hard. Clayton opening the gap up really, really strongly. Doing a good move at the moment. Working well. Looks good. Looks like he's got the gap. He's got 19 seconds, 18 seconds, 17 seconds. Malin's now squeezing on. So Malin squeezes on now. Trying to push this gap down. What's that gap going to be? Still at 17 seconds. Clayton knows that the village is in sight here. The village is behind those chimneys. It's a real sneaky one. You've got to watch where it comes from. You can just about see coming up on the screen the gantry on the left-hand side. It's 14 seconds, 13 seconds. They can see him in front. We've just seen him go around the corner. 12 seconds now. Here they come. This is the town coming up. They could squeeze it here. They could just about get this. It's now at 11 seconds. The gap's coming down. They can see the quarry, and Russ has gone now. Russ has tried to get him back now. You can see that beacon. He's on the wrong bike here because he's on what is a Tron bike, and the problem for Clayton on that Tron bike, he's a beacon in front of them. They can see that Tron bike. It's now 8 seconds to Clayton. It's going to come right down. That blue bike has been in sight. He puts in the Feather. He's desperate here. Feather's not going to make any difference. They're at 6 seconds behind him. Clayton comes down on the straight. They're at 4 seconds behind. This is going to be as tight as it gets. It's at 4 seconds. Here they come. The chase is on. It looks like Williams has got the sprint on. Williams is coming for him. Williams is going to get him. He's going to roll him here. Williams goes through. Williams takes it. Williams gets the win. He rolls him. He catches him 100 metres from the line. Clayton gets second place. Then it's Booth, followed by Crosscast, Neil, Birmingham, Cast, Potts and Mayland. What a chase down. And they got him. They got him on the line. What a sprint. What a group. And what a catch. That was a Donny Chaingang. That's what we want to see now. Behind Dylan rolling his way into the line. You can tell it was a good one because they're all quiet afterwards. There's nothing on that message board. Wow. Dylan comes in over the line. Good riding by Dylan now. This is our next group on the way into the finish here. Who's going to get it out of them? They're out of the KOM. So here we go. That was some chase down. And you can just see coming in here who's got the power. Osman's in here. You can just see Saxton's opening it up here. Saxton's got the power on. Has Saxton got enough to keep it clear? He's going to be rolled, I think. Or has he got it? He's tight on the front. He's getting kicked over here by Osman and then Smith. Smith's gone for him. Smith could get this. This is going to be close, so Smith is going to take this. Smith comes over the line immediately behind him then. You can see it's Ozzy Osman, Potts coming through. And then the rest of the group come through, run it in there, and Richardson come through. Jeff Saysel's going to be our next rider into the line. He's got 16 seconds onto the group of 2K and Co behind. So Saysel's going to come through clear here. He's going to take it. Looks like a good ride by Jeff here. He was right in touch on the way up the climb. Well, there's a reason we wanted to do this, the reason why I've been planning this for a long, long time. That is why we've managed to get it in and pushed it into this ride. Now, next sprint coming up. This is going to be close. I think Tuki's going to go over the top. He is. So Tuki's going to get this. Tuki gets it on the way through. Good ride by Tuki. Going through West, Oral and Co. Ball comes through. Bale comes through. You can just see Altaf's in here. Greenfield. Derby comes into the line. Tomlinson. Dubash, they're all sprinting here. Everybody wants to get this up on the front here. Derby, I think, is going to get it. Derby goes into the line, so it's Derby. Dubash, oh, nearly gets him. So tight. Wimble, Hind and Co. go in behind. Raccoon goes through. Just taking a little bit of a look. Joe Munden coming in over the line. What a ride by Joe there. Absolutely storming right. Joe comes in. Look at the number of jerseys. Not surprised. Pavé Sprint jersey as well as that leader's jersey. Looks like Fletcher in here as well. So great riding by Fletcher to go through on that group at the moment. We're going to just roll back. Tracy Steely's just taking the sprint jersey coming in and through. Just going to have to roll back pretty quick here to get back across. Let's take a little bit of a look up the road. So just going through his senior. So it has been absolutely manic. Stevens now kicking in towards the line. Stevens is ahead of Fuller. And we're going to take a little bit of a drop back. Apologies, can't get back for everybody. It is manic tonight out there. Coleman on his way towards the line. He's got Fuller chasing behind. Fuller, Briggs, Mallin and Scotland are behind. Look at that group coming. You can just see it as he goes over the line. This is a chase behind here. Who's going to get it? Kyle Phillips in for 1080 in here. Healy comes through. Killingsworth in that group. Next of our riders on the way in towards the straight is going to be Steve Hilbert. So a brutal Chaingang out there. Very, very quiet on the gang. That was some riding there by the groups. That is serious stuff. And that is what we want to see. These riders pushing all the way to the finish. Hilbert goes in and through the line. Next up is going to be James Woodbridge. It's going to be Woodbridge coming through. And then we're just going to keep a check who's going to be in with him. I think Willett just behind at the moment. I think Woodbridge is going to keep him off here. So James Woodbridge should be able to hold him off here. I think Woodbridge knows where that finishes. Look at this. Pushes on to get in through the line. Willett is behind now. Carl Johnson, he's got the sprint on at the moment. He's opened it up early here. Finch is behind him. Finch is coming at another watt per kilo. There's still a long way to go to this line. It comes quick, but I think it's going to be with Johnson. Johnson keeps the power down. He keeps that power down. Has he done enough? His legs have gone pop, but has Finch got enough to come back at him? Here comes Finch. Finch is trying to roll him. He's trying to get him another kick. Oh, look at that. He got close on the way through there. And just Johnson from Finch. The Big Tez just behind him. Then this is our next group coming in. So we've got Andrews in here. We've got Anthony Spencer in the group. We've got Andy Hawes in the group as well. We've got Taylor in here. We've got Big Ted in here. Sorry, Ted is just behind. So who's going to get this? This is going to be quick here. So is anybody going to sprint for the line? Who's got anything left? It looks like Horsey's going to go for it. Looks like Andy Hawes has gone. Horsey's gone for it. He's going to roll him just as he go in and through the line. Good riding by Andy Hawes as he goes in and hits that line. So Horsey takes that behind. Ted just going to keep in. Now let's take a little bit of a look. Topless going in with Ferren just behind. And then it's going to be Hopkinson. Stefano Barelli comes through one of our winners tonight. Then Sonia's just on her own at the moment. Got Shelley Charles and Ruth Taylor. They've got a group coming quick with Gibbons, Jessup, Canham and Kirkham pushing on behind here. Now Inslee just on the way in towards that finish here. So Sonia from the Bolton district from Donny Chaingang just kicking it in to the finish here in France on the Petit Boucle. Goes in and through the line behind then. It is going to be Ruth Taylor who's going to lead this through as Charles comes up behind, but I think it's going to be Taylor who's going to take this as she comes into the gantry. So underneath the arch goes Taylor. Charles behind him, 9 seconds down. You see what that gap was? Didn't look like 9 seconds to me. Canham is just about going to get this. Canham pushes hard through the line. Then it's Kirkham and Jessup coming through. They're 3 seconds in ahead of Gibbons. Good ride by there, and looks like Lisa Jane Lake just pushing clear of that red beacon group. So Lisa into town already now. So Lisa starting to push on as she comes into the line here. So good riding by Lisa Jane late after the yo-yo in a distance from that group. She goes through. Just going to take a little bit of a look. So Lisa Jane Lake in and through that line. Good riding by Lisa. Then just dropping back, it's going to be Jim Flynn. And then I think it's going to be the Red Beacon group on its way through this great group of riders here. So Flynn should be our next finisher. So Flynn pushing on hard as he goes down off the bridge here. He's just in front. Let's jump across to the Bear, who I think is just on the other line. Just hopefully on the end of the line here. Russ, how are you doing?
Good, mate. I was just turning some extractor fans on and opening doors because it's got a bit steamy in here after that Fast and Furious DCG, but what a gang. That was ace, eh?
It was. We had a few interesting moments sort of midway through with some yo-yoing about with the power just seeming to be a bit weird for a few people and gaps opening, but the bus formed, it did its job. The beacons and the group rolled together nicely at the pace, and then once we hit that big climb, it really did provide a ramp to give a springboard, but it was getting close towards the finish. That chasing group getting Wooly back just on the descent, but Clayton almost held on for that.
Yeah, I had a bit of a mare early on. I dropped a bottle, and then somebody was messaging me, and then I was doing too many things, and then when I got concentrated at the end, it was all good, and Amy did a great job. Like we were saying, it's kind of hard with the over 100 riders. No one can see where Red is, but we nailed it in the end, and yeah, after all that banter from Damo, there was no way I was leaving him out there to take that win, so I just kept forcing the pace, and they rolled him on the line, which was nice.
It was
Sorry,
good. It
Damo.
was good to see it. It was interesting. I would say sorry. We went for it early. That's the price you pay. Some days it works like this. Not today. Interesting to see Josh Mayland from Halo. He is putting in some big turns there. We were seeing 6.5 to 8 watts per kilo from him. But I think the passengers were basically sitting because they couldn't work. I don't think anybody didn't want to work.
Yeah, Josh has just messaged me. He said, "Mate, that was so much fun. Thanks a lot." Gareth was saying, a few other people, they loved it. And it's one of them. Where can you get that? A load of sort of the country's best riders just attacking each other from the pain cave and having fun with it. It's awesome, And then, like I said, that front group forms, and then the same happens in the second group. It's like, and the third group. It's just,
Yeah. And it's happening in the Red Beacon right as we speak. AD Denchi's rolling them in here. Now they're saying, is anybody going to sprint? No, we're not. Let's see who's going to give it the beats here. No, they're not much. We just look at the numbers starting to suddenly roll up. I wouldn't put it past any of this lot to put a sprint. It looks like Kuslik is going for it. But Tickers has gone. Tickers has got the power up in. Is he going to be able to roll him here? Oh, look, the number 6.7 coming out from Kuslik's into the line. Tickers is going to get second place here. Good ride by him. Ruby Isaac's coming through for third there. Looks like Miss Cookie coming in. Our Red Beacon says he hasn't got a sprint. Last man. So great riding by our Beacon there, and great riding by everybody on the way through. And the Red Beacon doing a great job as well. And to say that we rolled out and the leaders came in, not all that long ago. It's a compact group on this route, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. They're probably, I'd say, 9 minutes down, mate. I'd say 1.5. Yeah, probably 9 minutes, 8 minutes. Which, we were going 60k an hour at one bit at the back, at the front there. So, chapeau to that Red Beacon group, and they got it done, and that's what we like about the gang.
I don't even think it's probably 9. I'm sure I saw 58 on the clock. We'll have to watch it back. It was great to watch, I must admit, and great to put words to.
Yeah, I think they're saying, I saw 56, 57 minutes something as we crossed the line. So, it's definitely about under 10 minutes, which ain't bad.
No, it's good going. And what a way to wrap up what has been an amazing week. We're giving away 10 packs to DCG gang members of the indoor training bundles. We've seen lots of riders on there, some fresh faces. Good to have Dame on, really ripping it up from the Canyon squad as well. And the Chaingang working well with our Red Beacons, doing an amazing job. Got to say, for a first job, two sort of real ends of the spectrum. Our Red Beacons first time on Tuesday, and experienced bus driver AD today. Great job done by both, and that's what the Chain Gang's all about, and all fueled by OTE today, so and all week. So thank you very much to Annie and all of the gang there.
Yeah, I'd say thanks to OTE, and I think we had 2 on there tonight. Max message on the thing said he's actually tasting blood, so maybe there's a new flavour OTE gel coming out.
Definitely. Well, interested to watch these riders just now turning the power off. You just see Eddie at 1.5. I'm not surprised that was someone going over the top there. So no, I think we might be back here again. You never know. We might be back for this one.
Say, it's good to be under an hour, and some of the hour ones that are fast and furious, they're just thingy. But that was so exciting. The engine, it was good, and
good to come.
Design there, Matt. I'll hold my hand up. I had nothing to do with the design of that route. Matt was the man, and pulled a good route off there.
Maybe I need to get out more instead of spending all my time riding around Swift, dreaming up new routes. We'll see.
You do, mate. I keep seeing you popping up on Drift. I thought, Matt's doing a recon. Chapeau, mate. Cheers.
No problems at all. I have actually been out riding as well. It was a real life out tomorrow at Sure Party Phones in there in the morning. I had theory going to be out there early doors with Indy the Trail Dog. So I'll be hoping to harness a bit of my chasing group power behind Indy, who will be my demo up down the trail pretty much. So that's going to be the plan. Well, Russ, a pleasure as always. We'll catch up with you next week. Remember, if you're a member of the DCG gang, Tuesday is the last of the November membership subscriptions. in on Thursday. That is going to be the Wednesday and Thursday, sorry, because WOW DCG, the women's only Wednesday, is in Greater London Flight. We've got 2 great routes on the Donny Chaingang on Tuesday and Thursday. Remember, Thursdays in December, as is the Wednesday. So if you're a member and haven't renewed, haven't got a membership for December, make sure you get that done before we get in. We will do some more reminders coming into Tuesday from Russ. Thank you very much, Russ. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure you've got a busy weekend ahead.
Yeah, hopefully not. We'll see. But everyone have a good weekend, and I bet the weather's going to turn. So I might catch you on online in Watopia over the weekend. Cheers.
Cheers, Russ. So great to catch up with Russ. I'm going to be over at Mark Eaton Park for the regional East Midlands Regional Cyclocross Championships on Sunday, and of course lots of prep going in now for the World Cyclocross Championships, which is at the back end of next week. Don't forget, of course, we've got the 12 DCGs of December coming up, but what a way to wrap up OTE week here on the Donny Chaingang. An amazing ride by everyone, and a massive thank you to everybody who helps make it happen to our red beacons. So from Russ, from all of our beacons, from myself, Matt Payne, have a great weekend. Hopefully keep up on Facebook with us, and don't forget, of course, if you remember, make sure you subscribe to go into December. We will catch up with you on Tuesday next week. 3 Donny Chaingangs all the way through DCG Tuesday and Thursday, and WOW DCG on Wednesday. I can't wait. We'll see you then.